Well, guys, on Impact Wrestling, November 12th, 2019, we had some decent wrestling, but illogical fucking booking when it comes to storyline telling and other things that were involved on this show. I mean, just some of the things did not make any sense to me, which I'll go in further detail with you. It had a lot to do with Brian Cage and Tessa Blanchard going up against Madman Fulton and Sami Callihan, the Impact World Heavyweight Champion. And I have to say that I was not happy with what happened in this show when it came to that match because of what they were doing in the sense of trying to book this matchup. It did not make any sense to me whatsoever. But we did have a very good opener to determine a number one contender for the X Division Championship for Ace Austin. Ace Austin, I have to say, I enjoy his character. I really like he portrays a real prick. He's actually tries to hit on women, and he has a great fucking slogan on his t-shirt, which I think I may actually get, ripping off Stone Cold Steve Austin, but having his own called the Ace Austin 316, I just banged your wife. That t-shirt I actually really like. I think it's very catchy. Not to mention, it is somewhat similar to the Stone Cold Steve Austin t-shirt when it comes to the design of it. The only thing that changed or is different from the original design of the Stone Cold Steve Austin 316 shirt is that the Ace of Spades is on the A, so it kind of stands out a little bit differently from the original Austin 316 t-shirt. The opener of this match to crown the number one contender was filled of about, I think, 5 or 6 different guys. We had Brett Banks, who's a newbie on there, I haven't seen on there before. We had Trey from the Rascals. We had Rohit Raji. We had Aiden Prince. We had Willie Mack and Petey Williams, who I thought was going to be a guy that would have gone up against Ace Austin, but they went to another route. They actually went with Trey Miguel from the Rascals. I think that is a very smart and different idea to go with, using two highlighted young talents on their roster to be the frontrunners of the X Division title. So I think that was an excellent choice. The match itself to open up the show was fantastic. Definitely a match to check out on this episode if you watch it. So most definitely not something you want to skip. It was a lot of fun to watch, especially with it being the opener of the show. We then go forth and have a report stated that Rich Swann, Michael Elgin are part of the Elimination Challenge match, basically a fatal 5-way match to elimination to determine the number one contender for Sami Callihan's world title. They do an interview with Rich Swann and so forth, so nothing big there. We had Madison Rayne go up against Alexa Nicole. This was a nothing match. It was not even noteworthy. It wasn't even worth anybody's time. So, Madison Rayne actually wins this match, of course, and I would not recommend watching this match at all. It ain't even worth your fucking time to watch. Alright. So then we have Johnny Springer backstage, leaves a special gift in someone's suitcase, but it turns out to be Kim Shamrock's. He actually puts a pile of shit inside that briefcase. He was trying to, I think he was trying to get it on somebody else, but it was accidental and it was given to Ken Shamrock. fucking retarded nonsense there. I don't understand where they're going with Ken Shamrock. If I was Ken Shamrock, I'd be leaving this company at this point for what they're doing with him. He's first with Joey Ryan, now he's with Johnny Swinger. What's next? He's gonna play with Shark Austin or whatever, the guy that used to be on Impact Wrestling back in the day when it was called TNA. I mean, come on. This is ridiculous. We had RVD and Katie Forbes. RVD's very, very hot wife with a lot of tattoos, but very hot nonetheless. Enjoying themselves with some champagne and a hot tub, and RVD reveals that he's going to return to Impact Wrestling next week. And that was pretty much that. Then we have Jay Chris versus Daga. And Daga hits a tornado DDT to build some momentum to begin the match. Jake catches Daga in midair and connects with a Death Valley driver. This match was not very memorable. I don't quite remember it very well, but it wasn't bad, I don't think, but I don't even really remember the matchup very well. So, that just goes to show you what the fuck I was paying attention to. But I think the match would be noteworthy to watch, just to, see what happened and everything. But Jay Chris actually loses to Daga in this matchup. Or Daga, whatever. Anyway, we move on to the North being interviewed by their backstage reporter. And they're asked about the North ahead of their tag team championship defense against Eddie Edwards against Marufuji. This was actually a random fucking matchup that I don't quite understand outside of the loss that Josh Alexander took to Marufuji the week before that. I don't know what entails Marufuji to get a fucking tag team title opportunity, but for him to pick Eddie Edwards, they make a very good team. I think it would be great to see Davey Richards back with Impact Wrestling again, because Eddie Edwards was awesome back then with Davey Richards. So just throwing that out there to you, Impact. You may want to consider signing Davey Richards back and try to get this team back together as the Wolves. And have them kick some ass again, because they were really great as a tag team. Right now, Eddie Edwards is kind of like in limbo. He really doesn't have anything going on for him. I mean, he won a Royal Rumble type style matchup to get an opportunity at any championship he wants later on down the line. This matchup, I don't quite consider that opportunity. He was actually he didn't volunteer. He was asked by Marufuji to team with him to face these two guys for the tag titles. So I don't really think that should be counted as the actual belt that he gets the opportunity for. So I hope they expand him into the World Championship match with Sami Callihan. I think Eddie Edwards winning the title from Sami Callihan would be okay to do. So I think after Hard to Kill, I think we should see Eddie Edwards challenging for the World Heavyweight Championship in their upcoming pay-per-view and build on that throughout the weeks that they have remaining up to that pay-per-view. Now, let's get to the illogical booking of this fucking terrible show. And I'm saying that because of what they did was absolutely fucking insane, and it makes no sense. They never explain why Brian Cage did not show up at this matchup. Brian Cage later on in the show shows up and kicks some ass. But the thing is, he was supposed to be the tag team partner of Tessa Blanchard against the OVE. And yet he wasn't there. No explanation why by Don Callis and Josh Matthews. the match just happened and that was that, and we're supposed to accept it. Sounds a little similar to WWE in some cases. This was really fucking annoying. Then you go ahead, you have Rich Swann lose to Sami Callihan, which made no fucking sense, when he's actually getting a World Championship opportunity at their December Impact Plus special pay-per-view type of event. Now there's two events back-to-back where there's World Championship opportunities on the line, and we're seeing a world title match headlined as being the main event of their show. So apparently these early month Impact specials are more like pay-per-view type matches, which I'm happy to see, and we would be willing to watch them now that they're more like a pay-per-view instead of a random ass show for 3 hours that has no fucking point to it. But yeah, Sami Callihan beats Rich Swann, pins him for the 1-2-3, hits him over the head with a title belt, and scores the pinfall. That's how you end your match. Wow. That's fucking retarded. Then after the match, Callihan and Fulton continue to beat down on Rich Swann and Tessa until Brian Cage makes the save. On his way back through the curtain, Gabby Lauren interviews him before he competes in the next week's Elimination Challenge match, which originally he wasn't part of. So he's added into the mix just for the sake of what he did. And he lost twice to Sami Callihan out of 3 matches. I think that counts suit for him not to be part of the World Championship opportunity. I don't think he should be getting a opportunity to be challenging for the World Heavyweight title at all, and getting a number 1 contender opportunity whatsoever. But that's this company. So in some instances, they do some good things. Some things they do bad. I don't know. I'm just watching it, reviewing it for you guys, because I'll tell you the truth, this show is better than anything you'll see on Monday Night Raw. Just saying. Anyway, we get Jordynne Grace confronting the Knockouts champion Taya Valkyrie and challenges her for the title. Taya refuses, but Johnny Bravo steps up to the challenge. So, there's going to be a so-called handicap match with Johnny Bravo and Taya Valkyrie next week, 1-on-2. Or 2-on-1, whatever way you want to put it. So there you go. So if she doesn't get a title opportunity, she gets a handicap match instead, so she can kick the shit out of John Bravo and Taya Valkyrie at the same time. We then have a cringe, and I mean cringe-worthy fucking moment where Moose is on a tennis court trying to prove that he's a multi-sport athlete in the world, and he is one of the best at what he does. And he dominates a tennis player, Mikey, in a tennis match. What? Who the fuck cares if you can do tennis? And number 2, my God, if this is a tennis player you're going up against who has years of experience in professional tennis, boy does he suck. Where did he get his ability to make a living in tennis? The fucking thing was horrendous. I couldn't stand watching it. I think I skipped through most of that. It was fucking horrible. And the dialogue is just horrible. It is like none other than you could ever imagine. I think it's probably worse than WWE's main roster dialogue. And that's saying something. Wow, that was horrible. Do not watch this portion of the show, because if you wanted to watch Moose, you will be sadly disappointed and really disgusted what you were, watching. It was fucking stupid. Havoc faced Crystal. I didn't even watch this match. This is an obvious fucking jobber match. This was a joke. Havoc wins in less than 5 minutes. It was a fucking retarded match that I don't even understand was on there. They could have just went straight to the tag team titles, to be honest with you, which was the next match on the card. The North, Ethan Page and Josh Alexander versus Eddie Edwards and Margie Fuji. This tag team championship match in the main event was a solid one. I actually enjoyed this match. It had a lot to offer. It was definitely a really good, entertaining main event that anybody could find interest in. And it was a good match by the North. They actually walk out retaining their tag team titles. And just to give you some insight on what happened, just a small little dialogue here, highlights of the matchup itself. Margie Fuji hits the North with a signature kick on the outside. North wear down Eddie, cutting off the ring and preventing him from tagging in Margie Fuji. Eddie Eddie takes Page off the rope with a Hurricanrana, followed by a series of strikes from him and Margie Fuji. Eddie hits Alexander with the blue Thunder Bomb for a 2 count, which that move, I don't understand why it doesn't get a 3 count, because it's a really awesome move. And to me, I think it should be a finisher, and it doesn't receive any praise whatsoever. Eddie hits another power move on Alexander, this time a Tiger Bomb for yet another near fall. The North hit a flurry of double team offenses on Eddie to win the match and retain their tag team titles. They actually hit their finisher, which I don't remember what the name was, nor does it fucking matter at this point. But the match itself was a good, entertaining matchup. This match, I believe, went about 15 plus minutes. So definitely, if you're a fan of Impact Wrestling, you do understand, and I hope you do, that some of the things they do on here are absolute trash, but there are some things that are good as well. So, I will be honest with you guys, this show was okay. It was definitely a lot better than last week's show. Last week's show was a fucking horrendous piece of garbage that I would not recommend for a dog to watch. So, this show has gotten worse after Bound for Glory. I don't know why. Outside of the World Championship matchup that we saw with Brian Cage and Sami Callihan, which I think should have happened at Bound for Glory, not at Impact Wrestling episode in a steel cage match. They could have just had the title change there and just saved ourselves from watching another matchup where clearly that should have been the moment for Sami Callihan, and instead we got something completely different. So that's all I have to say on this subject. This show was okay. It was definitely a lot better than last week's episode from November 5th. But still, there's a lot of work that needs to be done on this show. The show seems like it's taken a dip in crap. And it's slowly but surely getting a little bit better, but still is a piece of shit. So I'm not too happy with this show that much, but it was definitely better than last week's episode. So that's really all I have to say on the subject. Leave a comment down below if you have anything to say about the episode. If you actually watched the episode, let me know what you guys thought of it yourselves, and I'll get back to you on the comments that you have to say. I definitely like to hear from any opinions or comments you have to say on this YouTube channel. I love the interaction with some of the audiences I have. And hit the like button if you like this video, and hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed to the channel, because you're going to definitely catch a bunch of videos, at least 4 to 5 videos a week by me on different wrestling promotions that I absolutely have an interest in and want to review, just to give you guys some kind of span of other things besides AEW and WWE NXT type stuff. I do not review WWE Raw and SmackDown. I do watch them on my free time. I will not watch them any point in time when they're live. It ain't even fucking worth it. Anyway, guys, if you would like to see more of these videos, please subscribe and I will unleash these videos upon you. Thank you and have a great day, guys. Bye.